Hey everybody, I'm Tim Rickman, and today I'm going to show you how to fold my origami shield envelope. It can be folded from a square out of most types of paper. It's just kind of a fun little envelope to put notes in or put confetti in, give to people. So while I'm folding this, I'm going to read off some questions that people have asked me over the past couple of days and answer a few of those. The first question is, from start to finish, how long does it take you to come up with a design idea? And it really depends on the model. Something simple like this literally only took me a couple of minutes. I was just absently folding a piece of paper on my lunch break and came up with this design. And when you understand the rules of origami and you have kind of an idea of what a model looks like, you can kind of listen to what the paper's telling you, and it pulls you in certain directions sometimes. It probably sounds kind of weird, but if I don't really have an idea of what I want and the model's really simple, it can take just a few minutes to design something. What I think you're really asking, though, is if a model is kind of complicated and I go from a very specific idea, how long does it take to design something like that? So for that, I'll use the example of maybe like my flying squirrel model, or Venus flytrap, or Ridley that I've just designed. Those are very specific ideas. I wanted them to look pretty realistic, and those can take days, weeks to design. And the reason it takes so long is one, when I started, I wasn't super awesome at designing yet. I've gotten a little better since then. And it takes a while to figure out exactly how you want to fold something. Sometimes you have a really good idea, but the paper will get too thick in one part and you'll have to kind of come up with a different method of folding it. And when that happens, you have to start over from the beginning. And that's what takes the most time. When you get good and you read some books on folding origami, designing it, and fold other people's models and kind of get a sense of your style of designing, you can kind of put together how you want to go about folding a model before you even start. But sometimes it takes a while to find a path to that idea that the paper wants you to take. So I think that kind of answered the question. Depending on the complexity of the model, a couple of minutes to a few weeks. All right, good question. And the second question is, why did you get into folding origami? Well, I've liked origami ever since I was a little kid. I think a lot of people, when they're younger, they fold things like I did, like cranes and paper airplanes and cootie catchers. I remember when I was probably about 8 or 9, I folded this. It was like an origami toy, and it was flat on one side and rounded on the other, and you set it on its edge and it would roll over and then fall on the flat side. I don't know, maybe some of you know what I'm talking about, but folded stuff like that. And then like when I got to high school, I tried out some more difficult things like a tarantula and like a deer, elk, something with antlers. I remember. I'm not exactly sure what model it was. It was probably somebody like maybe Lang, something he had designed, but I can't really remember. And then I remember as a kid being really fascinated. I walked into a store once and they had as decorations several different origami animals set up on a shelf. And I thought that was so fascinating, and I think that stuck with me. And then when I got older, I'm in my 30s now, and of course, information is so easy to share now on the internet. And somewhere along the way, I realized that these patterns for some of these models that I thought were so impressive as a kid were being shared online. And I just tried out a few, and I found that I was really good at it. And I enjoyed folding complex models. And I wanted to, after a certain point of folding, I wanted to add back to that art form that I had come to love. So I started making my own designs. And so that's a little bit about how I got into folding origami. Just to kind of go over briefly what I've done so far here. So I did a mountain fold this way and a valley fold this way, and then you fold this flap kind of horizontally. You know, you fold the raw edges to the folded edge, horizontal or folded edge, and then fold these edges like this, so you get this angles and this angles. Okay, and then you fold these together and fold this tip down to where the edge of this is. And now you go from here, you fold from there, this corner where this folded edge meets this edge on both sides. And then you refold these creases that you've already made, make a new crease to create this flap in the middle. The next question I have is, do you have to buy special paper, or does any paper work? Yes and no. To enjoy origami, you don't really have to buy any kind of special paper. Printer paper works really good. Sticky notes, if you're patient and you can fold really tiny stuff, and tissue paper. I always get kind of funny looks when I say I design with tissue paper. It doesn't tear as easily as you would think it would, but you have to have a lot of patience to use it. But I use it for some of my models that have a lot of detail, like Venus flytrap or Ridley. All I'm doing here is I'm folding across a crease that already exists, but I'm continuing it through all the layers of the paper. And I'm bringing this corner to the center point, like so, on both sides. And you don't want to fold the center flap yet. Just fold those sides in like that. Okay, and then we're going to flatten this by bisecting it. Bring the folded edge to the center, like that, and then flatten it. Anyway, if you're giving an origami as a gift and you want it to look nice, you can buy paper like the one that you see here. This is kind of a special two-sided paper. Or if you're doing something really complicated, there's stuff called tissue foil, which is basically a piece of tissue paper with a thin foil backing on it, kind of like what candy's wrapped in sometimes, only it's pretty thin. So it kind of depends on what kind of presentation you want to go for. To practice origami and get familiar with it and try out some models, you don't need special paper. But if you want to make a nice model, a nice presentation, then yeah, get some nice paper. I would stay away from construction paper or kind of newspaper, the kind of paper that they make paper bags with. That stuff doesn't really work too well, but pretty much any kind of paper works. When you get to this point here, you fold the sides in, and these side flaps go under this and kind of lock those down. But they come loose pretty easily, so we got to come up with a way to lock those down too. Just for aesthetic purposes, fold this flap down as far as it will go without ripping the paper. Kind of makes a neat little designy triangle there, and if you have two-sided paper, it shows off the inside color. And you can even write a note on there like from so-and-so or open here, whatever. Anyway, somebody asked me, can you make an origami Dracula? I don't really know if this is like a challenge or if you're requesting that I make one, and then that's how you lock it up. You put this, sink this into the pocket there, and then it's done. That's your envelope. Not really sure if this is like a request or you're just seeing how confident I feel. I could definitely fold an origami Dracula. And it's kind of funny you asked that. It goes along with a question you asked me later. Anyway, season 3. On my channel, I do a season is 6 months, one model a month, and I do that just to kind of give my channel some kind of framework. Season 3 is going to be fan-driven requests. I've already gotten a lot of good requests, so if season 3 hasn't happened yet and you're watching this, come by the official Rickman Origami Facebook page and give me a suggestion for something you'd like to see. Kind of the go-by for designing models I use is if it's been done before, I don't really touch it. I just fold models and design stuff that I feel will be adding something to the origami world. So if it's been done a lot before, like a tarantula or an elephant, I'm not going to do it. But if you have kind of a creative idea, come by the page and suggest it to me, and you might see it in season 3. Dracula, that's a good one. You might see that in season 3. And kind of goes with the next question: are you a performer? I don't know what will make you say that. Maybe you've seen some of my videos. I don't know. Yes, actually I am. I spent a lot of high school and all of college studying theater, both stage theater and production. I've done all, singing and acting and dancing and some directing and running the spotlight, stage building, set construction. So I'm definitely a performer. I have about, 12 or 13 years in theater and been in like 40 or something productions. One of them happened to be a production of Dracula. So I got to be the vampire Dracula. That was fun. Been in lots of shows, and I don't think you can do anything like that, devote that much time to a craft and have it not stay with you somehow. Even if you're not doing it anymore, the skill and the discipline and the teamwork and all the positive aspects of what you do translate and everything else you do for the rest of your life. And I definitely see that with theater, and I guess you noticed it too. It shows up in my work here. I get kind of goofy sometimes. I kind of toss back and forth once in a while whether or not to make these videos purely about the origami or to show you guys a little more of my personality, which I think is important. It's good to get to know designers' personality because we're kind of strange people. Anyway, so that answers your question. Another interesting question here: how do you sell origami? I don't know a ton about this, and sadly what I do know about it isn't really encouraging for anybody who wants to try it. What I do know is that if you're going to sell an origami model, it has to be your own design. You can't take someone else's design and sell them. Otherwise they have the right to sue you. Even if it's something published on YouTube here, if someone has a reasonable claim to a model, then it's theirs, and they're the ones that have permission to give people rights to sell it or not. And what the legalese of it is, the way to copyright a model is the method you go about folding it. So if you make a really simple model and it ends up looking very similar to something somebody's already done, that's different. But if you fold a really complex model that's obviously something someone else designed, that's a no-no. So as long as it's your design, you can sell it. Now, how you would go about doing that, I don't really know. There's not really a site for it that I know of. Maybe somebody else knows of one and they can leave a comment here. What I would suggest is hitting up your friends and family first, maybe people on your Facebook. Let people know that you have a model that you want to sell, and take it from there. I know I've sold a couple of things when I first started just to kind of raise money to get some books and stuff. And I charged like $5 or $10. But yeah, I don't know. To me, any kind of money that can be made with origami is made in selling the patterns. If you're good at designing, don't just sell your models to people. Design really cool models and make them want to fold them. But I don't know. If you're really into the idea of selling an origami, don't listen to anything I said and just go for it, because live how you want to live. And yeah, so, but I don't really know, other than that, how to go about selling origami. Last question here: how long are you going to do videos and design models and do videos? Well, I would say forever. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I hope that you are too. I have about a dozen models diagrammed so far. All of them are on YouTube. The first one I did is crane party hat. If you just type in Rickman origami, you can find all my stuff. And if you like what I'm doing here, please go ahead and tell other people you know that fold origami. I have a lot of fans, but not an incredible amount of fans, and it would be nice if I had a few more. I'm using kind of low-grade equipment here, and if I make a little bit more money doing this, I'm definitely going to invest in some better equipment, and you'll start to see better quality videos. I know some people are kind of telling me that some of my videos go a little bit too fast, and the reasoning behind that is if I make a video that's too long, my computer crashes and it doesn't ever download the video. So it's kind of like either I do it on fast forward and make it a 15-minute video, or you guys never see it. And I really want to keep doing these videos, so tell your friends, watch my stuff, and happy Primary Color Day. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys like this envelope. I hope it ends up being something that you fold a lot. And you guys are great. All right, take care. Have a great day. Bye.